Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So I was listening to Madonna on AP News. She was giving a speech at the Women's Rights March that took place in Washington, D.C. During her speech, she said that she has thought about blowing up the White House. And her statement has received a lot of attention. And really, I don't think that she's committed any crime. I don't really think that it's that big of a deal. But hearing that speech just made me think about the double standard that exists in this society. If that had been a member of Black Lives Matter saying something like that, they would have demonized not only the speaker, they would have demonized the entire movement and the protest. They would have used that speech to discredit, attack, and bash the Black Lives Matter movement or any other black movement if they had a prominent person like her make those statements. If she was black, you know, there wouldn't just be talk of an investigation. There would be police action. That woman would be under surveillance. That woman would probably have her friends and associates arrested. If she had been black or she had been Muslim, if she had been anything other than a white woman, it would have been a completely different story. And I think that that speaks to the level of white privilege in this society. It speaks to the level of hypocrisy in this society. It speaks to the level of racism in this society. I've read about how a Black Panther member back in the day made similar statements about, I think it was President Nixon at the time. I think it was David Hillard. I hope I'm not mispronouncing his name. But he made some statements about President Nixon. And from what I understand, he was arrested or there was police action taken against him for making that statement. And for the most part, it was a political statement. It wasn't like an actual plan of action. So, that's just an example of how the police are quick to react. And I know that there are some differences between like a singer saying something versus a member of a political group saying something. But still, my point is valid. And then when you look at this situation involving a woman who got on YouTube and was brandishing weapons and talking about killing police, clearly it was for dramatic purposes. She wasn't literally talking about hunting some police and killing them. But that woman was immediately arrested. So I just think that there are double standards. And, this whole situation is just another example of white privilege.